Kol avo shi tluya b'dover. Any love which is contingent on something, botel davar b'tel avo. If that issue that the love was based upon comes to an end, there's no longer love. Give you an example. A friendship is based upon because you do things for me. I like you because you pick up the tab whenever we go out. Yeah, and whenever I'm bored, I have somebody to speak to. So you're a terrific guy. So why do I value you? Because you're there to service me. So the relationship is really one-sided relationship because you're on the receiving end. It's not that you recognize him to be special. He's only special because he's giving you. Because he's your benefactor. In whatever area you need. The moment he stops being your benefactor, you know something, if the relation was based on what you give me, so the moment you stop giving me, there's no relationship anymore. You know, like people say, I have no value. He has no value in my eyes. Why? If I can make money with him, it's worthwhile for me to talk to him. I can't make money, I don't want to waste my time. So why all along you had these lengthy conversations and you would go out and socialize? Because all the socialization wasn't because you valued who he was, but only because what he could do for you. The moment he can't do for you any longer, you feel he's wasting your time. Because that person is self-absorbed with himself. So therefore, avo shi tluya b'dover, love which is contingent on something, the moment that issue comes to an end, b'teil avo, there's no longer a basis for a relationship. She'einu tluya b'dover. But if the love is not based upon anything, but rather it's because I recognize that you're special. I love you because I see who you are. You're that special person. Not because of what you do for me, or what you give me, or what I benefit from you. Because I see you as being special, that will not come to an end. Because it's not contingent on anything. It's a recognition. And that's a reality. There's an expression, a friend in need is a friend indeed. Person's there for when you go through thick and thin, no matter what. He's always there. Why he's always there for you? The other person, because he's a true friend. He doesn't look at the cost factor. He does for you because he recognizes who you are. And that kind of relationship is reciprocal. If you value me for who I am, where everybody else turns his back on me, and you see who I am, then I see you as that special person. That indicates that you're not just a run-of-the-mill person, that you're there for yourself, but to the contrary, you're there for others. We find that when it comes to doing a mitzvah, you can do a mitzvah with an ulterior motive. I do the mitzvah to be acknowledged, not for the sake of God. I do a mitzvah for financial compensation. I do a mitzvah because I enjoy doing the mitzvah. I enjoy it. It has nothing to do with God. God is only a byproduct of what I'm doing. What happens if you stop enjoying it? If the financial benefit doesn't happen, you don't have the acknowledgement. So all the incentives or the motivations to do the mitzvah is not there anymore. So the last ditch effort is what? To have a share in the world to come. But that is not a bad reason. That is lishma at a certain level. Because God wants you to do the mitzvah to have a share in the world to come. But to be acknowledged, to be ingratiated, to be compensated, that's what the mitzvah is all about. God's not your doormat. Many years ago, when I lived in Baltimore, somebody gave us a gift when I was married. It was a doormat. People used to have doormats, and it was printed on the doormat, Shalom, in Hebrew. Shin Lamed Vav Mem. Shalom is one of the names of God. One of the names of God is Shalom, except it's a pronounceable name. We pronounce it. That's why you say, peace upon you, shalom aleichem. Because shalom is the name of God. If you're in the bathroom or an unclean location and you meet a fellow, you're not permitted to say shalom aleichem. You say, how you doing? Good day. Be well. But to say the word shalom aleichem and say peace upon you, shalom, is because it's the name of God. You don't mention the name of God in a location which is not appropriate. So we get this doormat, hear this? And before you go into the house, you wipe your feet on the doormat. And on the doormat, it says in Hebrew, shalom. I said to my wife about shalom, blessed memory. I say, something, we can't use this doormat. We're not going to wipe our feet on God, God's name. So I'll tell you what I did. This is something you did years ago. Years ago, you didn't throw out things so quickly, You had a pair of shoes had to be taken to the shoemaker, you had another sole put on it. Today, a pair of shoes wear out, you throw it out, you buy another pair of shoes. That's the way you do it today. Unless you buy one of these, Gucci pairs. Gucci's, you send it back, they'll fix it for you. But you have to take it to the shoemaker, it doesn't work. I'm saying joking. But today we live in this disposable society. So what I did then, I took a scissor and I cut out the mem of shalom. So the word shalom didn't say there. So I used a doormat that was a damaged doormat because I didn't have much money to spend in those years. We're going back a very long time ago. And that's the doormat. But many people, they use God as their doormat. God forbid. God, you're here for me. You're here to accommodate me. I'll do the mitzvah because you'll give me. What happens if he doesn't give you? It doesn't work out the way you thought it was going to work out. You get discouraged. God, why weren't you there for me? I put myself out for you. You put yourself out for me. You don't realize how privileged you are when you have the opportunity to do God's will. And you have it backwards. You're not doing God a favor. He's doing you the favor. But if you see, you put it through the lens that you're doing him the favor. You know how much time I've given you? Yeah, I'm this, that. Something, you got it backwards. That person, if it doesn't play out the way he wants it to play out, he stops doing the mitzvah. Stops doing it. Because that's avat tluy b'davar. I'm only doing because I think I'm going to be compensated. But if you don't feel that it's worth your while because you're not compensated the way you believe you're going to be compensated, it's just a question of time before he gets discouraged. He stops doing it. That's ava tluy b'davar. But ava she'eino tluy b'davar. But if it's love, which is not based upon anything other than the one who you love, because you see something special in that person, that love is continuous. That love will not come to an end. Because that person is always the same person. Person marries a wife because she's beautiful. But beauty is not forever. What happens now? She's not as beautiful as she used to be. And you didn't marry her because she's that special person. So what happens? She ages. She puts on an extra few pounds. And you see somebody who's more attractive. Where does the eye go? It goes to what you're looking for. That marriage is going to be it's going to be compromised because the person's feelings are not going to be the same. But if you marry a wife because you see her as a special person, she happens to be beautiful. But that only magnifies the beauty if she's special besides being good looking or being a good person. If that's the case, even if the beauty is no longer there, the woman ages, doesn't make a difference. The woman is still that special woman, even more special, as she matures, as she ages. Same idea. And what do you think there's so much divorce? Because people, when they get married, what are they? They're on parallel tracks. How does a person meet someone? You went to Barnard, I went to Columbia. You went to Barnard, I went to NYU. You went there, I went to Yale. You ski, I ski. You shop where? There, I shop. You shop Goodman ladies store, I do men's store. No, they're parallel tracks. Well, I come from LA, there's a store which is good. We're similar tracks. We're maybe on parallel tracks, but they never cross. Other than being similar, you have nothing to do with one another. All you see is the superficiality of the person. That's it. It's not the person. Well, you're in this income bracket, I'm in an income bracket. We have common friends. Oh, yeah, that's a basis for getting married, for committing your lives to one another. It's not reality. So what happens if somehow the attractiveness, you become tired of it? It's over. As you tie the knot, you cut the knot. Finished. It's not you untie the knot, you cut it. Regardless of what the ramifications of that cutting knot is. I always say there's certain indicators which indicate that a person is a quality person. A person who does the right thing for the right reason, that's an indication he's quality. A person who only does something because there's something in it for him. If it's nothing, he doesn't do it. That person is, the quality speaking, is not the same person. I'll give you an example. You go to a person and you say, there's this person who's truly a good person. He's in need. He's fallen on hard times. He has a family. He's tried his best, and unfortunately, he's not able to make ends meet. Are you willing to try to help him? I'm trying to raise some money to help him, whether it's finding him a job, whether it's giving him some money, whatever it is. So one person would say, if you say he truly is in need, I'm here to help. Just tell me what you want me to do. The man doesn't know the man from Adam, the one who wants to help. But he hears a person's truly in need, he's there. Why? Because that person, it's not him, it's the objective. For what reason? Another person says to him, you want to help me this? By the way, do you know it? Is it related to you? How long do you know? You mean life's not complicated enough? You mean we don't have enough problems to be busy with? I don't want to be burdened with this. I prefer not to get involved. Meaning, if there's not something for you to benefit, I'm out of here. I don't want to get involved. What's the difference between these two people? One person it has nothing what's in it for him. If it's the right thing to do, I want to do it. The other person has nothing being the right thing to do it. If there's something in it for me, I do it. If there's nothing in it for me, I'm not here. So it's always contingent on something. What's it contingent on? If you're going to be a beneficiary of what I'm doing. If not, have no interest. That's the Abba Kli B'Dover. I love it, I have an interest because there's always a because. If that because is not there, you don't want to have a relationship. But if the other person, it has nothing to do with the because it is, then you do, then you help, you want to participate. If you could. If I can't, I won't. But if I could, I would. I'm willing to hear. Yeah, we have the first paragraph of the Shema. Shema Yisrael, then it says, V'ahavta Hashem Elokecha b'levcha v'nafshecha, you should love God with all your heart, with all your soul, and all your assets. So Rashi says over there that a person who's a subject, who serves the master out of love, that person's always motivated to serve the master. But if he's serving him where there is no love, and you feel burdened, you can only carry a burden so long. After a while, it becomes to a point, you've had enough, and you throw off the burden, and you run the other way. So what is the characteristic or the ingredient you need to be motivated and to have a continuum to continue going that direction and even advancing? You have to have love. You have love, you do. You don't have love, I'm doing it because. Once the because is not enough of a because, it becomes a burden. You feel you've been crushed by it. All the action is being taken out of the room. You stop doing it. That's the way it works. People, it's the principle. And people are very principled. They'll go and put themselves out, financial cost, even physical harm, and they dedicated their lives to principle. Because it's the principle. And what do you gain? You get beaten up, you get hurt, you have financial losses. It's principle. And after you live your principle, what is the principle? If it's you believe in God, okay, that's something you should live. You should sacrifice for. Well, it's principle that I'm right. And if you're right or wrong, does it really make a difference? That's foolishness. Life is not being right. That's not what life's all about. It's principle. I thought I was victimized. It's principle. And you'll live your life proving that you're right. And what's the value? That's all ego. You're willing to forfeit your life and opportunity for the sake of principle that I'm right. Prove to the world I'm right. And after you've proven you're right, what's the end result of it? Many years ago, Larry knows this person because he used to attend Shaibo's class, and he was a fellow Afghani. He was born in Kabul, Afghanistan, and he was in the colored stone business, diamond business. Larry, I'm going to mention his name was Joseph Ambalou. Joseph Ambalou was a very close talmid of Yad Avram for years, and he came to the United States. His parents still lived the family lived in Kabul. He came here, he was 17 years old, and he had like a genius type mind, personality, he had charisma, he was aggressive. And by the time he was 18, he really succeeded tremendously, became a rich man. And what happened was, there was an older person in that Afghani community in Queens. It's Bukhara and Afghani, it's all under the same rubric. He went and he actually stole a tremendous amount of money from like $1 million of goods or whatever it is. And he was a man, he was 18, this man was in his mid-50s. And he felt, take advantage of this kid, take $1 million and tell him to disappear. He didn't understand. Joseph Ambalou didn't let up. And ultimately, he hired lawyers, went to the best law firms. He knew the legal leads better than the lawyers, and he showed them where they made mistakes. And ultimately, you know what happened? He put this guy in jail. It was proven the man was a thief and went to jail. So at the end of the day, the whole community was upset at him, and this and that. He was supposed to be one of the elders of the community, and he put the guy in jail. And this guy was such a dishonest man. He had the house in his wife's name, so he couldn't take the house to be compensated. So afterwards, he said to me, he learned the lesson. What was the lesson? It has nothing to do with the man sending the man to jail. The amount of time that he spent to prove that he was right, to get the $1 million back, he could have made $10 million during that period of time. He spent 2 years proving that the man was dishonest. But when it cost him legal fees and time-wise and everything, he missed the boat. He took his eye off the ball. So if you really think about it, what's it all about? What do you work? You work to make money. You don't work to waste your time, to prove that you're right. You want to get from point A to point B. That's what it's all about. It's not to prove that you're right. If it's something which is your belief in God, that's a separate thing. That's your life. You live for that. Everything else is a means to that. But if it's all means and you want to prove means is something which has no innate value. It's only where you can end up. It's to facilitate something else. So if what you're going to facilitate costs you more than what it's worth, then you're being penny wise and pound foolish. That's what you're being. It's the same concept. I'm talking late 1800s, early part of 20th century. Israel was swamp infested. They had swamps all over the place. Malaria, literally uninhabited, besides danger with the Arabs. The people, they were so dedicated. They wanted to acquire that land and settle the land. They went through thick and thin, no matter what. So that was a dream. The land is ours. We want to be there, willing to sacrifice. It's not a financial issue. That became a calling in their life. Europe, there were pogroms. Europe, there was anti-Semitism. Here, finally, we have an opportunity to regain our land at all costs. People died. A lot of people died. Doesn't make a difference. But you died for a cause. You died for a purpose. They held that was a purpose. That's what it was about. Chaim.